What's going on, everyone? In this video today, I'm going to show you some of the stretches that I did that helped me grow to 6'2". This video was once again suggested by one of the viewers in one of the previous videos. His name is Channel DDD. I hope that's what your name means, and I hope I pronounced it correctly. I realized that I have never really talked about stretches, and even though it's quite important, it's not as important as some of the other aspects. That's why I didn't talk about it much. So today I'm gonna, go a little bit in depth about stretching.
Also, just on a side note, I've never done this in any of my previous videos, but I think it's really important in this one that I mentioned that I recommend you guys watching this whole video, because I covered a lot of important stuff in here that might not make sense if you don't watch the whole video. And my aim is to help as many of you guys as I possibly can, so this is my true and yearly recommendation to you guys. But if you don't want to do it, if you don't have the time, it's still up to you. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Don't know how many times I'm gonna say this, but please subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the video. That will really help me out. Thank you so much. First, before we even start with the video, many of you guys may be asking,
Mama, why did you do stretches at a young age? That's kind of stupid.
well, the answer to that question is, I did stretches subconsciously during my Taekwondo classes. Some of you guys may know that I've done Taekwondo for 8 years before I moved on to basketball. And in those Taekwondo classes, the teachers really do reiterate the concept of stretching. And I recall stretching like 30 minutes to like 40 minutes every week, just prior to doing any practice kicking and stuff. So I did not do stretching consciously when I was young. I did this subconsciously. But now, looking back, I've realized how much stretching has helped me out as an athlete, and as helping me grow as well. Now, all of the muscular stretches will be broken down into two categories. First, we have the core category, which is a really important category, and these are all the must-do stretches. Then, we're gonna have the fusiform category, where I'm just gonna cover a few weaker muscles in the body. And to be honest, these stretches are not too important, but I still suggest you do them. For those of you who don't know, fusiform muscles are the weaker muscle fibers in your body. So these include the bicep muscle and the calf muscle, which don't significantly impact your bone growth. Now let's get right into the core muscles first. Core stretches. Hey everyone, sorry I'm in my sister's room for recording because I couldn't find anywhere else that's good for recording. But for the core muscles, we have the abdominal major, we have the side obliques, we have the hip flexors on both sides, we have the gluteus maximus, and we have the hamstring and the quadricep on both sides. These are the core muscles, and the really important ones to look out for are the hip flexors, the abdominal major, as well as the quadricep, because these three are the stronger muscles that do significantly impact your growth, and I'll show you stretches for them right now.
First up, for your abdominal muscle, lie with your belly on the ground and push your upper body off the floor with your arms. But keep everything below your hips attached to the ground. You should feel a stretch in your abs. It's a very simple stretch, very effective to relieve pressure off your spine. For this one, stand up and reach over your head, then to the ground on the opposite side of the reaching arms. This is a great stretch for your obliques, which is a muscle group neglected by many people. Not to mention, you can also reverse the stretch, add weight to the other hand, and make it an oblique strengthening exercise too. Next, do the splits, then bend your front leg and lean forward. This stretches your hips. This might be mistaken for a popular calf stretch that is very commonly utilized in primary classes. However, despite its similarities, it is a hip stretch, meaning that your back heel does not have to be in contact with the ground. Instead, the aim of the stretch is for you to feel tension in between your thighs, meaning the hips are being relaxed by performing the stretch. Next, this is a stretch for the muscle band on your inner thigh quad, as well as your hips. Ideally, you should be as close to the ground as you possibly can without touching the ground. However, I'm no longer my 8-year-old self, and as you can see, I'm definitely not yet now. And thinking on behalf of my personal health, I choose not to demonstrate the correct technique because I don't want any snapping happening in this video. Sorry guys. Next, this is also for the inner thigh quad band and the hips. Put your feet together like this bring it as close as possible, then lean forward. Make sure your knees are in contact or as close as possible to the ground. This stretch is a great flexibility exercise for those dancers and taekwondo enthusiasts and for many other sports.
Now, we're halfway through the core stretches, and some of you guys may have realized that I'm only asking you to do 1 or 2 sets of like 10 seconds and 15 seconds every day. What I want to say is, you guys can tailor this to your own liking. Say we may have a very muscular person. They do a stretch and then they still feel like their muscles very, very tight after the stretch. They can opt for another set. They can opt for two more sets. It's up to them. But however, for a very skinny person, they might feel that their muscles are already very relaxed after one set of 5 seconds. And after that point, I don't suggest that you stretch more because excessive hyperextension of your joints or like any other movement could cause damage to other parts of your body, which is very, very harmful. This is why I recommend, do stretches to the point where you feel like your muscles are very comfortably relaxed. That's how I know that I've done my stretching for the day. So these numbers are just a guideline for you guys. But, there's one catch. You've got to do the stretches every day. And as you can probably tell, I put every day in every single one of the stretches just to showcase how important it is. Especially after exercising, which I assume you all do because you watch my videos. Stretching will help you relax the muscles, which will allow the bones to, grow longer during your sleep.
Anyways, moving on to the next muscle group, you want to stretch your gluteus maximus. It doesn't have to be this stretch, it can be any other stretch you want that stretches your glute. However, this is just my personal favorite one because it's very simple and it's very effective. It is also worth noting that I couldn't really find a counter that's suitable for my height, so I just had to use my window ledge, which I don't recommend for any of you guys, unless it's your suitable height. I suggest finding something that suits you, that will provide the optimal stretch. Next, we have a hip stretch again, because the hips are just very important, not only for growing taller, but also for improving athletic performances. So for this stretch, I want you guys to try to get as low to the ground as possibly can, and push your butt back. As you can see, I'm struggling, but I'm definitely trying. This is a very hard stretch, and you'll definitely feel it in your hips. So it is very effective, and it's quite simple as well. Next, we have the classic government education PE class touch your toes stretch for your hamstrings. And as you can see, I clearly did not take my PE classes very seriously, and I have lost all of my flexibility from my grade 2 self. So my sister is here to demonstrate this stretch. And this is a touch your toes variant, which you can do both, or just one, up to you. Next, kneel on the ground and lean back. Try to lie on your back, but if you can't, go down as much as you can. This is a very harsh stretch for the quad, but definitely very, very effective. As out of my many other stretches, this one was definitely the most memorable one from 11 years ago. And once again, my sister is here to demonstrate for everyone. Finally, just the classic quad stretch where you pull your quad back and stretch it. This can be an alternative to the previous stretch. However, I still heavily suggest that you do this one as well as the previous one, as both targets different muscles around the thigh, which gives the thigh an overall stretch.
Phew. Now that's all of the core stretches done. Because they're more important, that's why I've allocated a lot more stretches for the core section. Now let's move on to the peripheral stretches, which are also the fusiform muscle stretches that are not too important, but I've included in here just in case that some of you guys are interested. And let's go.
So this is a stretch for your tricep muscle. As you can see, just use the other arm and bring the arm that you want to stretch to the other side. And now this is an overhead tricep stretch. It also stretches your deltoid as well as partially your obliques, which is really good. Now this one will relax your pectoralis major, which is the chest muscles that all the bodybuilders are really obsessed with. Now moving on to the lower body. This is a calf muscle stretch. So for this one, I want your heels to be on the ground as opposed to the one that I showed you before. For that one, your heels doesn't have to be on the ground. And yeah, this stretch doesn't really affect you in terms of growth, so it's not too important.
There you go, and that's all of the fusiform stretches for the weaker muscles on the peripheral end of the body. Now, just on a side note, I want to mention that stretches have also helped me as an athlete, because I've had many friends who experienced severe muscle cramping after playing basketball. However, I've never experienced that because my muscles are very resilient to rapid contractions and over and again. This is why my muscles don't cramp after I play basketball or do anything. So I think stretches will definitely help your muscles in a good way. This is why I believe even if I don't know, if you're only 8 or you're 20, 21, 22, I still heavily recommend stretching on a daily basis. Also, on another side note, I'll be working a lot during my semester break for my uni, so I probably won't be able to upload as frequently as I did in the past few weeks because where I live, Melbourne, was in lockdown. So probably expect 1 to 2 videos a week. I promise I'll still try my best. I'm just letting you guys know this so you don't panic when I don't upload for a week straight. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And with that being said, that's gonna be the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like the video, turn on the notification bell, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you all next time.